This episode of Distraction is sponsored by Omega Bright CBD, formulated by Omega Bright Wellness, creators of the #1 omega-3 supplements for the past 20 years. Omega Bright CBD, safe, third-party tested, and it works. Shop online at omegabrightwellness.com. And by Landmark College, offering comprehensive support for students with ADHD and other learning differences. Learn more at lcdistraction.org. Landmark College, the college of choice for students who learn differently. Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini episode of Distraction. So I'm going to tell you about something that I did that probably was foolish, although I'd love your input if you know better. I was on the telephone with a very intelligent man who was telling me how he was coping with the pandemic. And he proudly announced, now this is a very smart guy, so I listened to him carefully, and he proudly announced to me that he had bought an ozone generator. Well, I said, what's that? He said, well, it's a machine that generates ozone. Well, I said, I could have guessed that from your telling me that it's an ozone generator, but why might you want to generate ozone? And he said, well, the fact is, ozone, is a gas that's up in the stratosphere that protects us from the rays of the sun. You've heard about the ozone layer and how we were depleting it with aerosols and whatnot. Well, turns out that ozone is an antiviral, anti-mold, antifungal, antibacterial gas. And if you generate ozone in your home, it will go around and kill whatever virus, mold, bacteria, fungus might happen to be there. Now, it can be irritating to your lungs, so you have to leave the house for a number of hours while you turn on your ozone generator and let the ozone do its lethal work, killing these nasty, nasty microbes that are haunting us these days. Well, I thought that was just the greatest thing in the world. And having ADD, I thought no more. I went to Amazon straight away, and I found that all the affordable versions of ozone generators were sold out. But that was kind of consoling to me because it made me think, well, there must be something to this then. So I opted for a higher end version. I didn't get the professional model. That was over $1,000, but I got the upgraded of the smaller one. Well, I was very happy with myself, and I said, I am so ahead of the curve. God, you can't mention the curve without that coming to mind, but I'm so ahead of the pack. Aren't I just in the vanguard? Aren't I just doing something so smart? I'm going to get my ozone generator, and I'm just going to blitz these nasty little bugs in my home. But then my wife said, you did what? And then she said, did you look into it at all? Did you investigate it at all other than taking the word of this friend? And I said, well, no, that was enough for me. And she said, well, why don't you go online? And so I did. And it turns out there are many reasons not to buy an ozone generator. And it turns out I was not so smart to just jump right on and plunk down my money and get my ozone generator. We will see. I would ask you all if you have any information about this. I would love to hear from you. Please reach out to us. Please give me feedback on the ozone generator. connect@distractionpodcast.com. And if you want to send me some consoling messages like don't feel too bad, you're impulsive ADD, I've made stupid purchases myself, I'd love to hear those as well. Any thoughts, humorous or otherwise, that this little escapade of mine brings to your mind, I'd love to hear from you. connect@distractionpodcast.com. I will report at a later date when the ozone generator arrives, what I did with it, whether we do set it off in the kitchen and let ozone loose, or whether I think that's too dangerous as I do a little bit more research and maybe hear from you all in terms of the future destination of my very own ozone generator. In these stressful times, it is good to be able to laugh, particularly at yourself, I think. And so there you are with me laughing at myself. But I'd like to take a quick moment to thank our wonderful sponsor, Omega Bright CBD. I take it every day. I truly do. Ever since they came out with the product, and I do highly recommend it. It's calming without being sedating. There is a definite calming in the good sense of that word, because I'm sort of reactive and impatient by nature with my ADD. This really does help. Omega Bright CBD is safe, third-party tested, and I'm here to tell you, at least for me, it works. It was formulated by Dr. Carol Locke, who is my friend and colleague of Harvard Medical School, and her company Omega Bright Wellness, who have also created the #1 omega-3 supplements for the past 20 years, which my wife and I also take and have done for many years. Get Omega Bright CBD on the web at omegabrightwellness.com. That's OMEGABRITE wellness.com. And when you get there, you'll find a selection of Omega Bright CBD for sale. Okay, remember to reach out to us with your comments and questions. Record a voice memo on your phone or write an email and send it to connect@distractionpodcast.com. That's connect@distractionpodcast.com. And I'd be particularly interested in your thoughts about my recent purchase of an ozone generator. Distraction is created by Soundscrape Media. Our recording engineer and editor is the top-flight, really wonderful man, Pat Keogh. And our producer is the delightful, brilliant, and beautiful Sarah Guertin. The episode of Distraction you just heard was sponsored by Omega Bright CBD, formulated by Omega Bright Wellness, creators of the #1 omega-3 supplements for the past 20 years. Omega Bright CBD, safe, third-party tested, and it works. Shop online at omegabrightwellness.com.